had an extraordinarily talented group of people this year that I could build a show around. That always means that you kind of rely on the people that you know, but you also pray to the casting gods that other magical people will show up. And so many magical people showed up with so many amazing talents, both old and new, and that's why I decided to do it. And we saw 56 people in total, and it was very, very tough to make cuts because so many people were so talented. But when you put on a show, you do have to think about practical decisions like room on the stage and costuming and things like that. This was a very, very busy casting season, but also one where we saw a lot of amazing talent.
Jean Valjean, he's a former convict turned, I would say, Good Samaritan. He's selfless, compassionate, but can be really, really protective at times. I'd say so. He goes from sort of he wants vengeance upon the world, but after the act of kindness, then he reforms himself.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me about your character in the show.
My character was Javert, and he's kind of obsessed with the law. He's lawful neutral, which means he'll follow the law no matter what it says. And he pursues Jean Valjean and has this relationship with him and doesn't really interact with any other characters. When he encounters Jean Valjean and Jean Valjean shows him mercy, he doesn't know how to react, and the relationship he's built with him, Jean Valjean, throughout the entire show is suddenly untrue, and the law might be wrong, and everything he's worked for his entire life doesn't make sense. And so he commits suicide.
Down here, oh my God, is that Rachel Coe? Are you in the musical?
I am.
Who's your character?
I play Fantine. Fantine is a woman.
What's the epitome of her character?
Well, I think if she were to be in any Hogwarts house, she would be a Hufflepuff because she is super duper selfless. She's extremely loyal and she cares a lot about her family and the dream that she might have had. So she has a daughter named Cosette, and Cosette right now they're separated because Fantine is trying to work so that Cosette can have a living, and Fantine eventually gives up her livelihood. She gives up her body, her spirit, her pride, so that she can send over some money so that Cosette can be saved, essentially. And so that's the tragedy of her character, is that she cares so much about other people that she destroys herself in the process.
Wow, that's intense. Mine is the daughter and the losing the dignity. It sounds like you.
So I'm playing Cosette. Originally, people think, oh, she's just a love interest. But I really love Cosette because, well, of course, the vocal stuff is so much fun. She goes so high and it's so nice and liberating. But she's just someone that you can kind of relate to in so many ways, even though many people think they can relate to Eponine, because everyone's in love at some point in their life. Everyone has this feeling where they just want to escape what they're currently feeling, or just be in a different world. And I think that it's wonderful to try a character like this, where I can use my own emotions and find some new ones. It's a lot of fun.
I played Marius, and he's basically a 16-year-old boy who's madly in love with Cosette. He's a very idealistic young student, and he takes the streets with his friends to go fight off the French government and free the people of France. Spoilers, he's thwarted in his efforts.
He's the leader of all revolutionaries. He's the older one out of all the people, and he's usually the serious one when it comes to joking around and all that. He's really focused on his job and try to succeed in the revolution.
I play Thénardier in Les Miserables.
Alright, and describe him, please.
Doesn't really have limits. It's hard to play because you don't know how much freedom you have to improvise and the boundaries that improv could go into. So it was definitely hard to realize the freedom I had at first, but then after I found it, it was fun.
I play Madame Thénardier.
Tell me about your character.
Okay, so she is the wife of the innkeeper of the house, and we run a pub or an inn, and she could be very strict to little Cosette. She's really rude, but then she can also be really funny. She kind of runs things because master of the house is kind of slobby, and someone needs to keep the place up to up to like standards, so she tries to do that.
I'm playing Gavroche, this kind of street urchin type. I'm a very jaunty, spunky child. Well, teen, preteen, tween, yes. I'm very in control of myself, and I'm the only person who breaks the fourth wall.
Ooh. Oh no. Hello?
Hi.
Hey.
10 years ago, I played the lovely and wonderful Fantine.
Wow, what a coincidence.
I think Marius is a more headstrong version of myself. Honestly, we're the same age. We are in very similar positions in life. We're students with relatively good access to education, but he's a little bit more. What would be a good word for this be? Hold on. Pause it. So.
Tell me about your relationship with Javert. What are similarities and differences?
Oh, okay.
How did you come up with playing him?
Yeah, so that was kind of difficult for me at first because Javert is super one-dimensional typically. Like, in most productions, Javert is one-dimensional. So I kind of played him in a different way, and like I showed those emotions, and I think in the end I was able to come up with like a Javert that I personally relate to, like a Javert that is confused and doesn't understand things, and is looking for answers.
Marius is impetuous. That's the word I was looking for. And so yeah, he's more driven by his emotions, and doesn't, I think through his actions as much as I do. But I still respect him as a person because he's fighting for a good cause.
The biggest difference between us is probably our age, because I'm 18, and by the end of the show, he's in his 60s, 70s. So, I would say that I relate to Jean Valjean, the core of his character, more than any other character I've played.
For this show, I didn't get nervous at all, just because I feel like this was the one role where I didn't really have to try to be anyone else, and I could just have fun with it. But I've gotten a little bit nervous for other shows, but like not a lot.
Hey guys, so we are backstage and we have our beautiful mirrors with our lights, and these lights are supposed to simulate the same lights that we have on stage. So we do it with the lights on to see how our face is going to look on stage. So we have a few things in our box, and each person has a box. And then this is the stuff that the theater gives us. We can also bring stuff of our own. So first we would start with foundation, or moisturizer typically, but then after that we start with foundation. And so foundation, typically you're color matched before the actual show. So for instance, I'm creamy beige. And you would just open it, apply it all over your face and into your neck. Make sure to blend. Blending is very important. And then after that, you would then go to your powder. So you use, your own brushes to put the powder on, and that really helps to have the foundation set. Next, you go to these little beauties, and so these are 4 different things. So on the back, we have, this is highlight, shadow, rouge, and lip color. We can also use these for a variety of different things. So for instance, in Les Mis, because we're all supposed to be beggars and dirty, I, for instance, used this color a little bit for dirt, and then this a little bit for bruises and other stuff like that. And so that's the very basics of makeup for theater. Of course, there's also, blush and eyeliner and mascara that you typically bring yourself. But yeah,
Tell me a little bit about the costumes this year. How many did we use? What was inspiration for them, etc.?
Well, we are very fortunate to have the costume company, or the theater company, down the road in Upland, and they costume professional theater productions as well as amateur theater productions. So basically you just turn in measurements of your actors and they put the show together for you. So I didn't have to think a lot about the design of the show because Les Mis is pretty iconic. So it's kind of its own thing. But saying that, there's so many characters in Les Mis, we ended up with, I think, something like 300 costumes and a lot of bits and pieces. So there's a lot to take care of and a lot to do. But it was fun.
Sixth probe is my favorite by far because it's because the thing is, a piano is a great instrument, but it's got limitations. And once you add in especially like percussion, like if you go and see the prologue right now, it's really cool with the percussion because it gets into your stomach and gets into your chest. And I think that the first time with the orchestra when we really meet up is really cool.
Let him be. Let him live.
Take our love, for love is everlasting.
The truth that once was spoken through another person to see the face of God. Hear the people sing.
And why do you always cry at the end of this musical?
Okay. Lots of reasons. Okay. Lots of reasons. The music is incredible. There's something about the music that I really connect with. It gives me the chills. Also, Isabel, when she says her line and her voice cracks every single time, it really doesn't help. And then on the very last one we're all singing "Will You Join in Our Crusade?" It's sort of I would say it's one of the most powerful moments in the entire musical, because as I'm singing and I'm doing the steps, I can feel the vibrations of everybody else stepping along with me, and I feel, just very connected. It feels like a very close union of people. But the main reason being why I cry is because I think this is, let me think. Okay, so I die in Argonautica, I died in Urinetown, I died in Crucible. This is the 4th show where I've died, and it's funny because it's sort of a linking to real life that this is the end of my web career and I'm gonna have to leave all of this behind. And so knowing that I'm physically dying in the show and metaphorically dying in real life is it's I don't know, it's like a wake-up call to know that the next chapter of my life is beginning and it's time for me to show gratitude for the people in my life.
So what is it like being in the midst of a battle scene?
It's very freeform, especially when you hear like the gunshot effects going off and you kind of get that feeling. It's really one of those situations to where you try to make it as real as possible, and you do that by saying what it is you need to say when you feel like saying it. It's like I said, it's very freeform. It's very up to the actor's instincts and up to his sense of like the actual situation.
Erica, what are we doing right now?
It's brew night, so Miss Plumley makes a brew to help us with her voice because we're all supposed to be on vocal rest, but
Hey, Erica.
No. Does anyone know what's in the brew?
Want to stage a
Oh,
friendship?
it's apple cider vinegar,
We do this
honey,
every day.
something else that I'm not remembering.
And Miss Plumley's saliva, so we all get perfect pitch.
And Miss Knowles' saliva, so we get her looks.
And we get Mrs. Knowles' amazing sight reading ability.
Yeah, that. Hey, can we get some brew?
Are we doing this brew night?
Yes. Hi.
Hello.
Ariel.
Yeah.
Where are we right now?
Okay, we're in Miss Plumley's house. This is a fridge of
Just stuff.
memories,
Just
and this is from Argonautica, and this is from Urinetown. They're both like little parody things that the actors have
Here's
made
Les
for
Mis
Miss
over
Plumley.
here.
Wait, does
Here's Les
anyone know-
Mis.
Do you guys know what happened to the note I wrote Jacob?
These are also some letters
What'd you
from
write?
beloved
Remember when I was
actors who have
writing-
left.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, not Jacob. Leave. Oh wait, that's also Jacob. Oh, here's my sister. There's Laurel and just some little tokens of friendship. Oh, hello.
Brew. This is the kind of thing you come over and get when you say you're sick, but you really just are bored. It actually doesn't taste bad. It's good. It's honey, apple cider vinegar, magic.
Alright. Hey guys. What's up?
Definitely when Sean fumbled over trying to say Jason in the middle of a rehearsal and he accidentally said juicy in a completely serious face.
Mine is Langdon Strange when he got shot.
Wait,
When he got shot, that's
do you have
the
the video on your phone?
Oh yeah, that was you. Wait, go back.
Wait, go to the one with Venom Barks.
Date. We sold out within 10 minutes.
was fun.
Oh my god.
It was a fun time.
Hey, Pasa.
Hi.
What did you do?
Everyone needed a pickup, man. I mean, we're a day before the show?
Yeah?
Yeah. Got tea for everybody.
Wow.
Hey guys, welcome back to my vlog. Here we are, Victorian style, angry, ready for the show.
All right.
It's French.
Bumblebee, 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 bumblebee.
Okay, so today is opening night, which is really exciting because it's the first time we get to show off the show to the entire little community, and the house is filling up, and everyone's super excited. And here we go, first night of the 4. Okay, so now we're at places, so we gotta be quiet. Places, what places?
Today is closing night, super exciting, last show ever, senior year, so yay! Woo! Woo!
Closing night, we always do a couple of pranks, especially on the seniors because we love them and they're leaving. So one of the pranks that I'm doing is for Leia West. Hey Leia! Hey! That at the beginning of the show, during the end of the day, we get into a fight because she sees a letter that I have from the Thenardiers. I have a daughter, Cosette, and they need more money for her. And so instead of the real letter, this time I gave her "We Will Miss You, Leia" from Plumley and Valdez. So it'll go down well, I think. Hopefully she cries on stage right after we have our little cat fight. Yeah.
Hi, we're gonna go look at the Saturday prank.
Alright.
Follow me. During One Day More, Jacob bends down to open up his trunk, and we've got some goodies inside, like his afro from sophomore year, or this hand from Peter and the Starcatcher, his Argonautica clothes, some Urinetown stuff, and you know, it's less of a prank and more of just emotional manipulation.
Basically, a couple months ago, Dakota asked me, along with a number of alumni, to see Les Mis together and surprise Steph, or Miss Plumley, as you know her, after the show. And when I heard that, you know, I was extremely excited to hear that it was her 10-year anniversary at Webb and that she was bringing Les Mis back. And of course, there isn't anything I wouldn't do for Steph. You know, she's a superstar. She brings people together, just like the alumni that night, and just like us, you know, 2 generations of that team.
I think the music is gorgeous. It's very hummable, but it's also very beautiful. I think it touches on so much of the human condition: love, jealousy, despair, striving, just all these great things, and we can all relate with almost every song in the show.
And what is something that you'll miss the most about theater when you graduate?
The people, for sure.
Well, it's the community.
The best part is probably the people.
That's the one thing, because I love performing, but like I can always perform anywhere. The community here is really special.
It really feels like a family. We're a really tight-knit community, so everyone in there, even if they're just walking on campus, they always know that they're going to see a friendly face. Everyone just is really supportive and positive and lifts each other up, and it's really great to be able to form those relationships as characters on stage and then also off stage, because everyone, it really, like I said, it really is a family, and so that's probably my favorite part.
It's really the community that I miss the most. You know, there's nothing like what I witnessed when I was there on Saturday. It was you and your castmates, you know, just being there for one another and supporting one another and creating that network of like love, you know, genuine love. I could see you guys just hugging each other at the end of the show, and you've been through this crazy journey, and you created something. You actually made something out of it that was quite beautiful. And the theatrical community has grown since I was there 10 years ago. It's that moment where you're on stage and all eyes are on you, and you have these moments where it's sort of like an out-of-body experience. You're really into your character, and you live through your character's eyes, and that those moments are so unique and so special. And being on the stage again, you know, on Saturday for me was very out of this world, and it was really crazy for me. it felt like returning home, actually.
Good try,